This is another one of the British skating legends, and today, for those of you who don't recognise him, I'm with Andy Newton. So he's a skater considered to be one of a few elite skaters who make up like what I call a lost generation of skating in the sport, and I'm intrigued as to find out a bit more detail as to why he decided to call it a day. But for the record, first and foremost, when and where were you born?
Wisbech, 1969.
So you're a local lad, because
Yeah.
we're in Wisbech. Well, we're Upwell today, which is just outside of Wisbech, so we're over in Cambridgeshire. But I'm interested in how you got into roller speed skating.
Who dog it? My cousin. He was doing it, and Hunstanton had an old, I don't know if you know Hunstanton by the coast.
I do, yeah.
They had an old skating track at the fair. We used to go around there, and he'd got proper skates, and I've got the bolt-on ones that used to come off your feet. So, birthday present was a pair of skates.
He's a bit older than you, though, Huey.
Year older.
He's a year older. But that's it, and that's how you got into it?
Yeah.
Just by going to Hunstanton, and because I presume he was racing then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he'd been racing about a year, 18 months, I think.
So do you know how the Wisbech Club came about? Because
Stan and Angela Bulls.
Right.
They started up the Wisbech Club. I don't know how Fendon come around, which is the club I ended up racing for.
Oh yeah, I'm going to come on to that in a bit. Yeah, I don't know that, but because Wisbech, I mean, for those who don't know, Wisbech, or certainly Woolsoken, is quite an important place for skating, because that's where the National Skating Association of Great Britain was actually first thought of and formed in Woolsoken.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. Well, not many people do. I mean, it then had its headquarters in London, but just a couple of miles away from here is where I think it was James Drake Digby decided that it was going to be he wanted a National Skating Association. So anyway, so the first record I've got of you racing then is, and whether you remember this or not, it's October the 3rd, 1980. So, and that October 1980, and that was at the Somerset Road School in North London.
Yeah, I remember.
So, and me doing a bit of digging like I do, you was in the first heat, I mean 11 to 12 years, 500 metres for the North London Shield, but you didn't qualify. Tony Marriott and Paul Turner beat you. There was only 4 of you in the heat, but you did finish 3rd ahead of Dominic Godfrey. So that's some accolade. Yeah. But do you remember your first race at all?
I remember going down there, but I can't. They was all big boys. I was only little, so.
Yeah. Well, you've always only been little, but
I'm tall now.
Yeah. But so, how did you used to get down there? Did you used to travel as a club, or was your mum and dad take you there? Was it?
We used to. Huey Senior is my mum's brother-in-law.
Yes,
so sort of travelled down as a family. We all used to go down, follow convoy down there.
Who else was in the Wisbech Club at the time?
Matthew Nella, do you remember Matthew?
Matthew Nella, yeah, I do remember Matthew, yeah.
Coe. What's Mark Coe?
Mark Coe, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, of course, he was, yeah, because he would have been, I think Mark...
he'd be your age, I think.
He is, yeah. I don't know if he went to...
Took his age. I don't think Tookie was starting. He hadn't started then. I think he started the following year.
Okay.
Yeah, I've known him since about 11 or 12, so yeah, he'd started.
Yeah, he started around, okay.
Yeah.
So, can you remember your main rivals? I think your main rivals around that time was Sean Birch and Paul Turner.
Yeah, Herne Bay was the big rivals around there, but Paul's good, wasn't he? I don't know if you remember Paul.
I do remember Paul, I remember him really well, yeah.
But he went away, and then the next year Ashley came, and everybody said, oh, Ashley, that's who you've got to watch, he'll be the new one. And Paul, whether he didn't train that year, he didn't come back as good.
Was there much rivalry between you lot, or did you all get on?
No, we all got on.
Did you? I remember.
Nobody liked Ashley because he won everything. So.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, I know. Well, he was quite good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But so Sean Birch. I mean, he was, because I think when you started, he was around for about 12 months. Now I don't think he did much after that. I think he knocked on the head, as did Paul. But I was looking, as I said, I've been looking through the records, and can you remember your first medal? No. I reckon your first medal was a bronze in May 1981 at Crystal Palace.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, so you don't remember that. No, and I can tell you that you finished behind Sean Birch and Paul Turner that day. But that was your first medal. So you've gone from October 1980, and then 6 months later you get your first medal. So, but you'd only been about 11 or 12. So
Yeah.
you can be forgiven because that is some years ago.
Yesterday, a lot of
Yeah. You get a few more junior medals throughout 81, 82, but not a gold. You still don't get that gold. What I did find interesting was that you came in at a time when like Sean Birch, Paul Turner were the ones to beat, but they were there, and you were coming around behind them. And then Huey rocks up and he wins a couple of races, and then Ashley rocks up and he wins a couple of races, and they're going the top step before you. But did you remember that? Do you remember thinking that these guys were, how come they're getting on the top step but not me?
Well, it was a bit naive back then. You just used to train. There was nobody with like your dad's experience, and Dayton Park used to go down there. I'd never skated on a bank track. There's a road just up the road here. It's called the 16-foot bank. That's where we used to train. Lorries going by us at 60 mile an hour on a narrow road with a river on the side of it, and school playgrounds. We did.
Who used to coach you at that time?
Jack Cousins.
Okay.
Ex-Fen champion. Ice speed skating. Right.
Okay. So his kids got him, or he's
he must have been 59, 60 when I was that age. He'd retired sort of by the time I'd packed up. But he used to come out there. He'd be on the 16-foot there. He'd be on his bike, sort of keeping pace for us. He used to old-fashioned. It's cold, Jack. There you go. Put a bit of newspaper down the front of your top. That'll keep you warm, boy. That's how we were around here. We didn't know nothing about.
And is that when you was with the Whiz Beach crew?
Yeah.
So was Huey Senior much to do with coaching back then? Yeah. But at the end of you've done like a year or two with Whiz Beach. I seem to remember him being in the black and orange.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. You did a year or two with them, but at the end of the '82 season, you skated NSA. You skated unattached.
Yeah.
And why was that? What was the
family?
Is it
fallout in the family? So.
And because Huey was Whiz Beach, and I suppose and like you got.
I think Stan and Angela left the stewardship of the club, and Auntie Marion went, and Uncle Huey went in there, and Mum and Dad clashed, I think, at some point, so we left. Right,
so it was nothing to do with skating or training methods. It was just family things. So you left. So you decided to leave Whiz Beach. You skate just. I think it was one event or unattached in readiness for the next season.
I remember now being in black and white, but
yeah, it was only one race. I think it was again it was at North London. I think it was only junior races that day. It was it was at the end of September. But it was interesting that on the programme you're down as Whiz Beach, and then it's crossed out and you put NSA on it.
Yeah.
So you'd obviously been something that happened where you decided I'm leaving Whiz Beach. But I suppose
I think it had something to do with internationals as well. We got I was friendly with Paul Turner, and Paul's dad got us guest as Herne Bay.
Okay.
So I think we went to Belgium, but the first time we only went to watch, and people thought I was racing over there. So I think there was a little bit. The NSA got a little bit involved.
Yeah.
I think there was some sort of club argument, and it was easy just to go.
And so is that how Fenland came about?
Fenland was already a club. I can't remember what the original club was, but it was sort of winding down, so we just took the opportunity. We used to, where Michael runs, the skate, there was an old carrot top factory there. They turned it into a skating rink. It was called Jackson's.
Right.
So we used to train in there.
Okay. And was that the first time it was a skating rink, was it?
That had been a skating rink there for years.
Right.
Okay. But we sort of took that venue over as 2 nights a week in the winter time. We used to train in there. I mean, it was small. It wasn't much bigger than this room, but
yeah.
You do what you do, don't you?
So you'd left Whiz Beach. You'd skate NSA for a bit, and then the following season, you become Fenland.
Yeah.
With the blue and white colours, as we know.
I think they was black and red originally.
Was it?
Like a diagonal stripe.
Oh yes, actually, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think it was called Fenland then. I think we changed it when we took over the club.
Yeah, because that's right. Yeah, because I know there was, I don't know if there was Anglia and there was Fenland and there was Wisbech, but
Yeah,
I can't remember which way around they were. But I know Fenland was blue and white. But you're right. I remember the red with the black.
yeah, but like a band going diagonal.
The black diagonal band. Yeah, I do. I remember that name, but I couldn't say what the name was. So when you became Fenland and like you split from Wisbech, did anybody join with you?
Jack Cousins came over as trainer. He came with me, and Tucky came over eventually. I think Michael McInerney, he skated for Finland, if I remember rightly.
He skated Anglia, and then he might have skated Finland, and he did come to Finland for a bit, yeah. So with the split, and I mean I know we're talking families, and really Wisbech is not a massive place. Was there much animosity then between Finland and Wisbech?
I don't know. I think parents there probably was, but me and it was always the same.
Yeah, so you got on with your cousin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tara and Alex.
Yeah.
I say he did the floor in here. I'll see him. He was here at Christmas time.
Who, Alex?
Huey.
Oh, Huey was he? Oh, yeah. I haven't seen Huey for.
It's no different.
As long as it's been since I've seen you. What's that? 35 years. So, in your first outing for Finland, so that would have been in October '82. You win your first race.
Did I?
You did, yeah. And you say your first time out, it was the road race at Herne Bay, 1,500 metres, and you come ahead of Paul Turner and Ashley Arlo.
Did they fall?
No, I funny enough, and that's what happened. Yeah, do you remember? You don't remember?
No.
You don't remember that race?
No.
Yeah, and that was your first time you won. It was on the road race. Remember the old Herne Bay International?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we used to have the international. First we used to do like on the pier, then we used to do the car park, and then it used to always end up with the road race, or the road race in the morning back on the car park. Well, apparently in your 11 to 12 years in October, you won the 1,500 metres in Finland colours, and it was your first outing in Finland colours, and then you also won at the Agora.
Yeah, I remember going there. I don't remember winning there.
Yeah. So the Agora. Yeah. Do you remember that rink?
Yeah, it was a small track again, so it suited us.
Yeah. So why does small track suit you?
We was the Hudson where we used to train. That was a small track, indoor track. Jackson's really tight indoor track. I only got little legs.
So you won at the Agora. That was in like the December '82. So was there much difference in training between when you was with Wisbech and then when you joined Finland?
I think that's when I got stronger because I trained more on my own. Jack was with me on the bike, but Tucky wasn't with me when I first went there, so I was just, everything was on my own. So we just trained how I wanted to do. We used to do a lot of interval training because, like I say, there's nothing for us to, no notebook for anybody to go from. I'd heard interval training, so we used to sort of try interval training. We used to try anything.
And so, in terms of coaching, so was that on the roads, was it?
Yeah.
So you were doing like the rink skating at the Hudson Centre and
Jackson's, what was, yeah.
And then you'd also go on the road. How often was you training?
4 nights a week.
Okay.
A couple of hours.
But you'd be at school as well then?
Yeah.
How did you cope with that, with your schoolwork and your skating?
I school. I didn't bother with homework. I'd never want to be at school. Well, I mean, all I wanted to do was skate. I wasn't bothered about anything else. I used to do cross country at school because it helped fitness.
Okay.
So everything was just skating. That's all we did. Even on Friday nights we used to go out. Jackson's where we used to train. They had a disco up there on a Friday night, like a roller disco. So you'd skate on a Friday night. In the winter time we'd go to the Hudson. They'd got a roller disco, so you go to Hudson. Sunday mornings was in the winter time Hudson. Just skate 7 days a week.
Why do you think it was such a big thing in Wisbech for skating?
In Wisbech in the city, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
It was skating or swimming or football, and I didn't like football.
So just skating. Just going back to like the Wisbech thing, where you're saying Huey was instrumental in setting up the club, is that I don't remember there being a club prior to that from Wisbech. Not that I remember anyway.
Matthew Neller was skating before us. Do you remember Stan and Angela Bulls?
I know. I vaguely. I know. I know them.
I think Stan and Angela used to do figure skating.
Right.
I think they had a daughter,
right.
and I think the daughter did figure skating. And then I don't know quite what happened, that they got the speed skating club up there. But when I don't know if there was Stephen Negus, he was there, Mark Coe, let's say all those people I said, there's a few others, and they'd been racing before that.
Yeah.
They sort of told us, I think the first British Championship was the one at Portsmouth. Was it Portsmouth on that big cycle track?
It was Southampton.
That's it, yeah.
Big Southampton. It was, yeah. That was in like the late 70s, yeah.
Yes.
And 80, I think, but it's certainly late 70s.
I think they was telling us about this big bank track, and I mean, none of them had been to internationals, but they'd only heard what other people had said, so I think it was all quite naive.
Yeah, because actually, you're saying that's right. It must have been before him, because Sharon Walton.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Walton girls.
The Walton girls skated. Hayley, Sharon,
Diane.
I don't remember Diane, but yeah, they skated, and they were
Debbie
skating
as
for
well.
Wiz Beach. Debbie, that's right, Debbie Walton. Yeah, they skated for Wiz Beach. So it was actually right in terms of the fact that it was late 70s.
I think
Sharon was
the
in the
Walton
team.
girls were quite good, weren't they?
Yeah, well, I think so. I think Hayley was in the junior national team, and I think Sharon was in the senior national team in 1980. She skated Southampton.
Oh, Sharon. Yeah.
She skated Southampton, that's right. But I mean, I was a kid then, so I'd have only been 13, and I didn't really know much of the Walton family. But yeah, so Wiz Beach must have been around at the late 70s, but I don't really remember it much before that. But I certainly don't remember Doggett being around.
No, I think he only started about a year before me.
Yeah. Okay. So when you train through the winter, like you said, you're back on your you're doing on your skates. Did you do much bike work, or did you just do
not that
skating?
time? I was probably 13, 14 probably when I started on a bike.
Okay. Yeah, because like you like again, I've been only because I don't know this off the top of my head, but I've been trawling the record books, and again, May '83 when start the next season, you win again on. There's a playground in near Burton on Trent, Barton underneath, what it's called.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and you win the 2,000 metres again, but you're still only a kid. You're still only a junior, but it's around May, June '83 time that you get selected to represent Great Britain for the first time as a junior in the European Championships in France. Yeah. Yeah. So, can you remember getting selected for that?
Yeah.
So, how did that come about? What was the training like, or the squad session? How did the selection come about?
I don't know. It was all new to us. We went the year before for squad selection, and we assumed the top four was going to get picked. And Gwen Marriott overheard us saying, as long as we're in the top four, we're going. And that was the reason they didn't send a squad, apparently.
They didn't send anybody. They only sent girls.
Girls, yeah.
They only sent girls, yeah.
Because we weren't trying hard, so it was. I just treated it like a race. You do as you're told. Whatever they told you to do, I always made sure I did it. And when they told you to race, you raced.
And how did you get informed you was in the team? Was it? You remember that, or
no,
you don't know where you was when they said?
I imagine I got a phone call from Mum told me.
Yeah, but I suppose you were of a decent level then. You thought, I'm going to be in the team. If they send the team, I'm going to be in the team.
Yeah, I was fairly confident we was going to get in from what we was doing racing over here, but it was a shock going over there that was something different.
Had you raced internationally before that? Had you been abroad?
So remember.
So the Junior Europeans, you think, was the first time you'd raced? So what was it like then?
I thought I was racing men. They was huge. I mean, again, I'm not very tall, but even Huey, I mean, some of them Italian lads, they looked 18, 19 compared to us at 13-year-olds. That was scary.
Because you race in 4 out of 5 events, both road and track. So, and I think your highest place was 8th in the 3,000 metres.
Oh, was it?
It was, yeah. But was it like a baptism of fire? How did you feel in those races? Did you
I always preferred racing abroad to over here. Once you got those nerves out there, I always thought I performed better abroad than I did here.
Did you get nervous?
Yeah.
Did you?
You always have to go for a wee 5 minutes before the race.
I do that now.
And that was hard on them French toilets when they got the little things and you got your skates on them. No, I was... Get onto it. Do you remember I always used to have the hanky down my shorts?
Yeah, I do actually.
2 laps before you always blow your nose.
Yeah.
That's the things you do, wasn't it?
So who was in the team here then? There'd have been
Paul Turner, Ashley, me, Huey.
Yes, I think it was, yeah.
Sean?
No, I think Sean went. I think that was it. I think
was it just 4 of us went?
I think it was the 4 boys, yeah. And the girls.
No, didn't Sean Birch?
I don't think so. I don't think he did. I think it was. I think it was just you boys. Yeah, and
Lisa, Debbie, Alison,
Suzanne,
and the other girl from Herne Bay. There's 5 girls, weren't there?
Dawn. No, not Dawn Birch. No. Can't think who was then. But anyway,
Yeah.
but like, so that was Gwen was the team manager, was she?
Di Davis.
Oh, he went out with
Yeah.
you, did he, as well?
Yeah.
And he helped out.
I like Di.
Yeah. I see him just a few weeks back. But so again, what else can you tell me about that trip? That was,
I can't remember
can't
any of
always-
it. No, honestly.
really. So what was the road like? Though, was it was up and down? Was it?
I honestly can't even remember the road or the track.
Really. You've never seen there's a video somewhere of the race.
Mum and Dad's probably got it. Once I packed up, I never looked back.
So you come back from the Europeans, the junior Europeans, and then it's almost immediately within I think a week or two, it's the British Championships at Reading, and and there's only 2 championships. Huey takes gold in one, and Ashley takes gold in the other. How did you feel about like the junior British Championships then? Did you think I'm in with a shout, or did you think I'm going?
I always sort of accepted I was silver bill.
Really?
I don't know. I just used to follow and never. I don't know why. I just never went by him.
Is that killer instinct or what?
I don't know. I just thought why risk silver for gold and come out with bronze, or vice versa. Let's say back then, you want to race to win, but there weren't no pushing to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's how it felt. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Ashley was.
But it was still not. I'd only been skating three years.
Well, I was say you said October 80 and we're talking September 80, so it's 3 years. So in 3 years, you'd been to a major international as a junior international. You'd won a few races. But Ashley was somewhere else, wasn't he? I mean,
I mean, if Ashley, he was racing every week. He knew he was going to come second unless he fell, and he didn't fall very often either. Did
no,
he?
Didn't. No, he was certainly.
And he was strong as well, wasn't he? Physically strong.
Yeah, he was. He was obviously. Yeah, I think he'd also got his brother Rowan, who must have been pushing him along as well, because he was like in the senior team.
Yeah.
So together there was.
His dad was quite a force as well, wasn't he? They pushed.
Yeah, John. Yeah. So. Yeah, so as you say, you weren't the only one playing second fiddle to Ashley in sort of 84. Although you did beat him on occasion. I know that. I can tell you you did. I know that there was a race in March '84 that you won at North London.
Yeah, I remember. It was at Taunton Park.
No, well, there was 2 actually, but there was one at Taunton Park. That was actually, I'll come on to that one. But this was at Somerset Road School, the old school. Remember the playground in North London. It was a 1500 metres against, so you'd have been a junior still, and it was in the March. You beat him in that. But he, as I said, he was on fire. But then in '84, you get on the junior European team sheet again for Birmingham. What do you remember of those championships?
Well, I thought he was in with a chance that year, and I was good around the track there. The road suited us, everything was good, but I got a virus. So
did you?
Yeah, we had to come home. I think first day of the track, I'd got blotches all over me.
I was going to ask, because you raced quite well on the road, and
I felt drained though. I knew I was coming down with something. I knew I weren't right. But that's how there was a marquee there. I don't know if you remember on the track.
Yeah.
I remember shivering in there with a blanket over me.
Right.
And that was the first day of the track. I think we went back to the hotel and packed up and come home. And I got some sort of virus, and I had a reaction to the antibiotics as well.
Yeah, because one of my questions was going to be, because when I look back through it, you raced pretty much every day. Well, you did race every distance on the road. In actual fact, you even raced the relay, and you got a bronze medal in the relay with the lads. You don't remember that? You don't remember standing on the podium with a?
I can't remember any of that. That's how I know. I felt
really,
like crap.
Yeah. But then I was going to say, but you only. What was really funny about the track was that you actually escaped the time trial, which is quite amusing for me because there's never in a million years I'd have put you as like in the sprints. But you escaped time. But that's the only race you did on the track.
I don't even remember that. I say that was just like a dream for me. I can't remember. I can remember being in the hotel. I don't remember. I remember Cobley shouting, "Go!" on the road. I think that was 2 laps before, and I went and I blew up. My legs just went. I couldn't.
So it must have been quite a big disappointment for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd get a medal at least. I forgot we got a relay medal.
Yeah. So that sounds obviously not in your trophy cabinet then. But yeah, that's but Ashley obviously won.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he?
Yeah, he won, and Lisa won as well. So what was the mood like? I mean, you probably weren't around for a bit of it, but what was the mood like though?
I remember being jealous when he was winning, and
yeah,
I was disappointed at that. But he was good. It's nice he was in your own country. There was friends were there, people was there. I said that the Birmingham Wheels track was new that year.
It was the first like major event. We'd had the British Championships on it a few months earlier when it was still mud and all that, but then they got it ready and they turfed it ready for the Junior Euros. So, but okay. I didn't realise that was the reason why you didn't skate the track. So you was not really well.
I weren't there after that first day.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we come back.
How long did it take you to get over that?
A couple of weeks.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So that's 84. But then, so after that, after the Junior Europeans, you must have, I presume, you got back into your training, got back into your winter training, and then at the start of 85 season, Ashley decides to go and race senior early. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, "Did you ever consider that?"
Yeah, I think I did go up a bit early because I went to the Worlds that year, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, when's your birthday?
June the 4th.
Okay, not quite so. So yeah, I thought it was I tell you didn't go up early. I tell you why you didn't go up early. I know, because your first senior race was on June the 9th. So yeah, so you'd have been 16 on the 4th, and then you'd have turned senior. So for the 9th of June 1985 you're a senior skater, and you actually come 3rd in the handicap at Tatum Park there.
Yeah.
And ahead of you.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and well, the two ahead of you is Rowan, Arlo, and Dan Cobley. So do you remember turning senior and thinking, wow, I mean, the big boys?
Yeah, but I was quite confident there because Ashley had been doing all right, and then I'd trained with him and raced with him, so I thought I'd be in with a chance. Your dad liked me as well, he helped me.
Likes everybody. So when you say you trained with Ashley, did you used to go down to Earnbound train or just...
No, I trained with seniors.
Oh, I see.
Like when we trained with the seniors and used to run around with them, I've always been, there's more seniors at the clubs I was in anyway, there's more seniors than juniors. So I'd always been around seniors when we'd skate, so I wasn't bothered about the size of them.
So you felt like you was holding your own?
Yeah.
So you've turned senior, so that you're just 16, right? And you start to medal, like what I call fairly consistently. And I mean, there were decent sized fields back then in terms of people. But you're pretty much seen more as a distance skater. You're certainly the longer distance. Had your training changed at all? And did you make a conscious effort to focus on distance?
Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to win any 1,500 metres. 1,500 metres were always different because it's quite a fast pace, and if it's fast, I always stood a chance. If it was left to 2 laps, forget about it. I might medal, but you're never going to win on 1,500 or any race at the last 2 laps. I remember even at the Worlds in Australia, I got into a good heat, and I think I got semi-finals.
Possibly, yeah. Well, in 85, so you turned senior in the June, and you're getting a few medals as a senior, and even though you're literally just 16, and then the British Championships at Birmingham Wheels, and you take home 2 bronze medals, one in the 5K, and one in the 20K. So I think Ashley wins the 5 though.
Yeah.
And
did he?
I think, who did you think won it?
I thought he won a 20.
I think he won the 5, and I think Cobley was second. and you're third. So this is 85. So this is, but you get. I mean, how did you feel like senior championships and you're a bronze medalist? You know, I mean, what do you think?
I was happy. I felt I'd do better in the seniors than what the juniors. Let's say Ashley dictated pretty much everything because he was strong, but there was more people up there and to race with. There was more people to go. The field was bigger. So I don't know. You can get on with it, can't you?
So how were you like your mum and dad with your your performances? They must have been quite
Dad never said nothing.
Yeah, but like, well, what about the likes of like Tucky, for instance? Because I don't know if he'd medalled up at that point, but like, would you consider that in the Fenland, although you're only 16, would you think that you're now the #1 skater in the club?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, your rise to prominence is like I said, you're 16. It's massive, really, And then you get selected to represent the senior team at the European Championships, first of all, in Cassano d'Adda in Italy. Was that a surprise to you, getting selected for the seniors?
Well, I heard somebody, it was a surprise, but I heard Mum talk to Pat, and I thought, why she talked, Pat Theaton.
Oh, yeah, Pat
While they talking, because they'd chatted about it, and I heard bits and pieces, and then somebody said about a passport, so I didn't know, and then Mum said, oh, you're going to European Championships. That's mine for a week.
Wow.
Seniors, yeah.
So, because Darren Cobley didn't go.
No.
And that must have been quite a surprise as well. Because the actual fact...
I was quite close with Darren as well. I like Darren.
Yeah, he skated for us for a bit, and funny enough, I did actually speak to him very briefly a few months back now, because I've asked him whether he'll do an interview, and he said he's thinking about it, but we'll see. Maybe if I send him this, so he'll...
Right, Darren.
Yeah, he'll say like that. But yeah, because I think after the British Championships, I don't think he raced again.
No.
And but that's going to be a question for him, as to why he stopped there. But so you go to the European Championships, and your name's on the team sheet. But you only skate one event on the track, which is the 20k, and you come home 5th.
I thought it was 4th.
Well, I got 5th, but if you want to go 4th, I don't mind 4th. But you must still be pleased regardless.
Well, there's only 4 of us finished the race.
Yeah. Was that?
Yeah.
So what, you lapped them all or what? What happened?
No, I can't remember his name. The Belgian guy went off. It was hot. It was in the middle of the day on a white bank track.
Yeah,
it's like
Cassano,
yeah. And he went off the front and nobody chased him.
So
just went off, lapped him, went back to the front, kept the pace up, and people started dropping off. John Mullane got his wheel stuck under the barrier on the first lap. I remember going by and he's still there, second lap, with his cut-off t-shirt.
Yeah, his Millie's t-shirt. Yeah, that was the last time he went away,
Yeah, that was hot. Your dad, he said to me, that's too hot for this. He said, we ain't going to win, so there's no point being on here. I just carried on. I thought I might get a medal there.
Really?
It was hot, but I didn't. Again, you're naive, you don't know. I didn't drink enough at the beginning. I was dehydrated. We come off and they had to carry me. I remember sitting there on a chair and they pumped a litre of water into me.
Yeah, because it was that there at Cassano.
Yeah, it must have been 110.
Really?
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah.
And I can't remember ever being that hot, or since.
Well, I mean, a top 4, top 5 finish in the Europeans at year 16. I mean, that's some,
Well, I think it's by default. I think if you hadn't lapped the field, it would have been a different race.
Yeah, but it's if buts and maybes.
Well, yeah.
Is it? My dad always used to say, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. But
he did, didn't he?
He always used to say that. He still does actually. But yeah, so like I said, really your first taste of senior international with the big boys now. I mean, the likes of, I suppose, at Cassano, it would have been people like De Persio and people like that.
I think Galeazzo was there that year.
Yeah.
Was he there that year? I don't think he was.
Galeazzo was there, I think so. And but anyway, and then you go on to the road circuit, which is a big road circuit. Because I raced the road circuit there. So you do another 3 events, and I mean, we'll talk about the relay in a minute. But like in terms of the individual events, do you remember racing on the road?
I don't remember position. I remember racing on the road. I think it's mostly night time, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
So I remember the lights over the start-finish straight, and
Yeah.
it was almost like being gladiators. It was nice.
So in the relay, so it's the last event. Britain are actually the reigning champions on the road because Cobley, Frysini and Arlo had won the road Europeans in Vienna in '84. And so in the team for the Euros in Cassano, there's Frysini again, Ashley Arlo and you. 2
bambinos and an old man.
So yeah.
The Percio said, didn't he?
What's he say?
2 bambinos and an old man.
Is that what he said? 2 bambinos and an old man. He weren't wrong. 2 bambinos and an old man, and yet.
Was your dad 34 then?
He was so what's that? 85, 36.
Was he?
He'd have been 36, yeah. So born in 49. So he was 36, 2 bambinos and an old man. And you crossed the line for, I won't say you win because we're comfortable, but you crossed the line first.
We won.
Yeah, well, I think you won. But can you remember how that race unfolded?
I think I should have finished. I think they made a mistake with the lap. So I pushed Ashley, which some of the others didn't put anybody out. They stayed on for 2 laps, didn't they, if I remember right?
I think it was Massimo Muzzi, I think, and he stayed on, the Italian stayed on for 2 laps and Ashley caught him.
Yeah.
Can you remember that feeling of like...
Oh yeah, it was people coming up, kids asking for autographs, it was amazing. Union Jacks on, skating around, crowd was clapping, everybody was happy. Do you remember the dike at the back there?
Yeah.
We chucked back Pat Theaton in the dike.
I remember that.
I think we jumped in after him.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good.
So how long was it before they announced that you hadn't won? Or
2 or 3 hours, I think.
Oh really? So for the first few hours you felt...
Well no, after about half an hour they was questioning it.
Right.
And they was debating it for a couple of 3 hours.
Right.
But Pat and Gwen assured us we'd get the medals. They just weren't going to give them on that day.
Right.
But nothing ever happened.
Do you know if we appealed the decision?
Left it to them. I'd imagine Pat would have done, but it's probably the NSA decided against it.
Interesting. So, in your heart of hearts, you believe you won that relay?
We won the race that was on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it was the right race or not.
You raced to the bell.
Yeah, which is what you do.
Yeah. So you was the one who pushed Ashley.
Yeah. I think I should have finished it. And,
they did another lap.
Yeah. I think we was in 3rd or 4th, weren't we?
Something like that, I think, yeah.
Which I'd have been happy with anyway.
Mm.
So they wouldn't count back the lap, and they wouldn't accept the lap because it wasn't the distance. But I think that was Pat's argument. You always race to the bell.
That's right. But can you remember Ashley catching Mutzi?
Yeah. We were still going round.
Was you?
Yeah. I remember watching him, and you jump up and down, don't you? I mean, I always say it's only the relay, so it's not a proper race, but it's still a championship, and it's...
I'll put it this way, I only want to relay at Europeans, so I class it as a proper race. I have to because they bugger all else. But,
you medalled, didn't you?
Only the relay. But yeah, it's interesting, but it's a shame. But it's the race that the infamous race that never was. So how disappointed was you? Obviously you're disappointed, but like, was there a moment?
We all felt robbed.
Yeah.
Well, we was robbed, weren't we?
Yeah. Well, I think so. Okay. So a month on from that, and then you go to the World Championships in Colorado Springs. What do you remember about selection for that? Did you think because you've been to the Euros you're going to get selected for Worlds? Or
I didn't even think about it. All I remember was I was told I was going. I don't even think I went to senior trials for that. Really? I don't think so, no. Because I don't think at that point, Darren was still probably going, wasn't he?
No. Darren stopped.
World Games.
Darren skated the World Games. He did skate the World Games, which were in the July, and so he skated World Games. but he didn't go to the Euros and didn't go to the Worlds, and he stopped at his last race was after the British Championships, so he never saw him again. But so you went to Worlds again. I'm going to say 4-man team, but
yeah,
and because that's right, because
you, Dad,
and to Ireland, because Mulaney wouldn't have been in the team for the seniors. But so, what was the Worlds like? Because that would have been your first World Championships. What was that like?
It was amazing. We was at the Olympic Training Centre. Carl Lewis had been there the week before we got there.
Really?
Altitude was. Your dad suffered.
Yeah, he does suffer with altitude.
I remember first week there, he's been sick. He hardly did anything the first week. That track, the velodrome's around the outside of the track.
Right, yeah. I've raced there. Yeah.
I thought it was on the velodrome. Nobody told me, because you're a bit naive from Wisbech, you don't know, we've never been. They let me think it.
But they told you it was the velodrome.
They told me that was the warm-up. Your dad told me there was a warm-up track in the middle and you got to skate on the outside.
And you believed him.
Your dad knows, he's been everywhere, hasn't he?
Yeah. So, but you skate every distance at those World Championships, except for the 500 maybe.
Did do the 300 as well.
Oh, sorry, the time trial and the 500. You didn't do the 500, did you? And the 300, no. So, but what else do you remember that trip?
Just how fast it was.
Really?
I thought the Europeans, that was totally different.
They went up another level.
I was out in the league there.
Yeah, so but you were up against the likes of the Muse brothers. It was their first.
I mean, they're only a year or so ahead above me, but I mean, their selection process, the amount that pool that they got to pick from was, so the experience they had and the strength. I mean, they was just when you go out to see what they went to do after that as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, you would have been on. So that's really interesting because you're actually at the transition, because you've got Kaiser and Van Patter, and then you got Tony and Dante as the youngsters coming through. 2 old men and 2 bambinos, if you like.
Well, they weren't that old though, were they?
No, not really. No.
What have they been? 26, 27 then?
Yeah, something like that. 85. Yeah, possibly something like that. Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe a little bit older. But. Oh no, maybe no. They would have been about that, right? But I'm say the World Championships. But the girls get a bronze in the relay. Did you remember that?
I remember, yeah.
With Lisa Burgess.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of earlier. We went to France with us for the juniors. Lisa Burgess.
Yeah, that's right. Lisa Burgess. That's right. Of course, the other handbag. Yeah. Was there much recognition or euphoria in the British camp when the girls come away with?
Yeah, everybody's happy for them. It's special, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they did well there. I mean, you're going about the men's, the women's there was a different league.
Well, Alison and Lisa were they were proper world class, weren't they? And they were in the prime back then. What about the men's relay? I always remember a story of my old man saying that there was 23 teams on the track and you wouldn't come in because you couldn't get in. I don't know. Really.
I can't remember. That sounds about right. I mean, it wasn't a big track.
That's right. Yeah. But I
felt overwhelmed there.
Did you?
Yeah. That was brought it home.
Really.
The difference in ability to what they were to what we were.
The class difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even let's say you go to the Olympic Training Centre, and that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
What they've got there, we've got nothing like that here now.
Yeah.
The other countries, how they treat the athletes to what England, I think the Olympics did a bit for this country for sports and that, but it's pretty much you're all on your own back in here.
Yeah. The
food, nutrition, health, sports injuries, everything. You have to find out yourself. They cater for them over there.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to actually go to the OTC, the Olympic Training Centre, in '93 and race the Worlds there. So it is a different league. Isn't it?
It's not even a different league; it's a different planet, isn't it?
So do you remember the relay then?
No.
You don't, I couldn't think who skated it with. I know Fry Senior skated with you, but I don't know who the third skater would have been with you.
Rowan, I'd imagine, would it?
Rowan, possibly. Yeah, but I just remember the stories being that it was like mayhem because it was like, because these days they have like half a dozen teams on the track, but then they put everybody on the track.
After the start, I can remember being in the middle of the pack and was probably half a lap down from the start, like on the 20k. I've never seen anything like it. Well, it's like you imagine the London Marathon. It's just there's nowhere to go.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was going to ask you. So you're obviously you're skating for Britain in '85 at 16. Then you got your teammate Tucky, who he was also knocking on the door of international recognition, but didn't make the team. Do you know how did he? Was he pleased for you? Was he?
I think he was pleased for me, but I think he thought he probably deserved to go, which he probably did.
What, ahead of you? Why do you think he didn't?
I don't know. He got on with Pat, and I don't know whether Pat just didn't rate him or Pat beat him, or I don't know. I thought he'd probably got picked over me with his age and that. But I think Pat was trying to create a younger team. I don't think Pat thought he was going to get heaved out like he did.
Right.
I don't know what happened. I know there was something that happened when he come back on this, an argument.
I
don't think the NSA was happy that I went and Ashley went because they thought he was too young from what I heard.
Again, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know that story, but it's
maybe just a rumour, but that's something I heard.
Right. Okay.
I don't think Pat was ready to step down, was he, as team manager?
Again, I don't know. I know he didn't take the team the following year, but so I don't know why that was. So maybe I didn't know if he stopped of his own volition or what. I should know because I've interviewed Pat. And I'm sure
you never mentioned it.
And I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying I can't remember. I'd have to look back through my video notes and just and see. So that's pretty poor on my part. But you do come back from Colorado, and you're still on a high. And then you take another championship medal. This time you get a silver in the 10k, just behind Ashley again. But you're still 16, but you got a couple of bronze from a previous British Championship on Birmingham. You got a silver now. I think it might have been beyond the Ashley in the 10k. You've got you've done a Worlds, you've done a Euros. You must have felt that you was amongst Britain's elite at that time, or did it just not didn't register?
No, I still don't.
You never think I was one of the top guys of the.
I think I did well. I don't. If I'd have top guys, I'd have won a European or a World Championship. That's where the top guys are.
Well, we come on to the sort of 85, 86 season. So, and we'll wind forward because the Arlo brothers are quite strong, and you're now struggling to get a gold medal, as was many people at that time because they were pretty much dominating proceedings. But 19th of July 1986 is quite a momentous day for two reasons. One, it's my birthday, but two, it's actually your one and only senior British Championship win in the 20k on Herne Bay. Track.
They made that track for us,
They made that track for you. Well, the rumour was they made it for Ashley Harlow, but certainly the 20k, it looks like they made it for you. So, can you remember how that race unfolded?
Well, me and Tucky just said we're not going to beat them in the sprint. Just keep going. Don't slow down. As soon as Pat hits you, keep going wherever you are. If you go off the back, so be it. We're not going to win. That's the only way we're going to win. We watched the Americans do it. What did he say? Don't be on the train, be the train.
Very good. Yeah.
I said, well, we've got nothing to lose, and that's what we did. Not in the 5,000, I wasn't enough distance on there, but I said, I don't care who wins, I don't care who comes last, we've got to try. And that's what we did, and that's what we trained for.
And so did you go off together, or did you go off in ones? Did you go off and then...
No, we just went off ones.
One at a time, yeah.
And
so
as soon as that packed, everybody else slowed down, I kept the momentum, went by, come back up, did exactly the same. As soon as Pat caught me, Tucky went. Who he went, because who he went anyway, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I am gonna come on to that actually, because he was pretty much a similar technique.
But we were strong. We trained.
And
that track was just good for us
because it was small, and you're still doing Hudsons, still doing Jacksons, and you lapped the field.
Yeah. And Tucky did.
And Tucky did. Yeah.
And I was disqualified. I'll come second.
The 20k, you won.
Yeah, no, the 10k. Then
The 10k, you were second. That's right. Tucky was, yeah.
Did the same thing in the 10.
Yeah, that's right. And you were second behind Ashley. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But in the 20k, you went off the front. You went off the front, but you lapped the field, and I think it then come. I think behind you, Tucky and Fry Senior dead heated for second.
Did they?
They did, but you was a lap ahead of them. So that tactic had obviously worked out for you. So what was that feeling like to be suddenly a British champion? I mean, you were like now just 17.
I was happy. Jack Cousins, the trainer, he was crying. He was, when we told him, he was more happy, I think, than I was.
Really?
He all he wanted to do was train British champion, and he trained 2.
Yeah.
He was over the moon. No, it was just a race. It was British Championship, but it didn't mean much more than any other race.
So you didn't celebrate it in a special way or anything
No.
like that?
Went over the line. I remember Di Davis, I went over the line, I didn't know I'd done it. I just went like that to myself. Di Davis came up to me, he patted me on the back, he said, "Well done, boy." Sorry, thanks. He said, "Didn't do all your finger up in the air like all the others, did you, and your arms up?" He said, "I like that little shrug to yourself."
Yeah, so you were quite modest about your victory, quite humbled, or just quite, Okay. And then the next day, you win the Southern Counties as well.
I mean, Tucky tossed a coin. Was that confident?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? And so heads you win, and you won.
Yeah.
So he sat in behind you as you.
No, he
won.
didn't race.
He did.
Did he?
He did, and he was declassified a place.
Oh, did he?
Because he come behind. It was you, then him, and then Ian Ashby.
Oh, I thought,
And then what happened was that Tucky got declassified one place.
what did he do wrong?
I don't know. What did he ever do right? But yeah, so Ashby picked up the silver and Tucky the bronze, but you won the Southern Counties. But so what you're saying is that you were so confident that in the Southern Counties it was only ever going to be you or Tucky.
Yeah.
Flip a coin, whoever gets it is going to win.
Yeah.
So you come away with British Championship and the Southern Counties.
Yeah.
Not bad. 17.
Yeah, good weekend, wasn't it?
It sounds like it, doesn't it? So
that's about all I did that year, though, wasn't it? I had injuries and another.
Well,
falls.
I mean, I must admit there was a lot of time when I as I said, when I was looking for photographs or through photographs of you, I never found one where you hadn't got a burn on your ass.
Yeah, I fell a couple of times. Huey took me a couple of times. I brought some Galaxy skates, and for some reason I took the kick centre pin off of them. They draw them out, don't they?
Yeah.
Nobody told me they snapped. I think that was one of the early ones at Herne Bay.
Right.
And I remember going around the corner and I went rolling. Just from wheels come off.
Oh, really? And what, you didn't drill them out for lightness? Just
Galaxy, they drew them out, and I put them on my bones. I thought they'd be lighter.
I understand. Yeah.
And nobody told me that they broke.
They're going to break, and that's why they weren't using.
Because Rowan broke his collarbone on the set, didn't he?
Yeah.
Crystal Palace.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
A nasty fall.
He came over to me. He said, "Oh, you're lucky." He said, "That happened to me. That's how I broke my collarbone."
Right. That's interesting. I didn't realise it. I know it was a lean year for you, but just going back to the kicking off the front. So, when did you decide to do that? Was it just immediately before the championships, or did you train specifically for this?
We'd pretty much trained for that. We'd been doing interval training, just sprinting all the time. Sure.
And Huey was also employing that sort of tactic, although Huey was a lone skater then, because he was like...
Yeah, but Huey could have probably done it. He used to get halfway and just stop up and wait for us, didn't he?
He did. Although I do remember him lapping the field about 4 times in one race, but he employed the same tactic as you guys. Did you ever work with Huey?
No.
It was very much still split between Finland and Wisbech Stroke Anglia.
Yeah, it was 2 clubs.
Okay, so it weren't like whoever gets away. So if he went off the front, you'd chase him.
Yeah.
It seemed to be very much a Wisbech thing, but was it a conscious decision you and Tucky, or was it something that your coach, Jack or whoever said, "Guys, this is what I think you need to do"?
No, it was just we'd watch the Americans do it. So Rowan was strong, so Ashley was there for the sprint. Equally, that was the only way he was going to beat him.
Is to take the sprint out of him.
I mean, your dad with you there as well. You got 4 or 5 of you Birmingham wheels you had to try and beat. It wasn't just if we'd have just left it for the sprint, we were second or third if we was lucky.
Yeah. Okay.
Your dad was fairly good tactically, wasn't
He was known to be a bit astute. Yeah, he was. Yeah. And it was around this time though that you went to the Cinque Campanile, which I know we've touched on earlier, but and I seem to remember I remember you coming to our house and stopping at our house on the night before you left. But how did that come about, that trip?
Don't know, your dad sorted out with my mum. I was told I was going.
Yeah, because I tried to wrap my brains about this, and I got a feeling, I don't know why. I know, like, he had a lot of soft spot for you, and I know, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't know whether it's because I hadn't finished anything, and he thought it'd be the only way I'd be getting into the squad. Was it 20k every day for 6 days and 20k's on the last day? Yeah.
Was it in the
20k in the morning and 20k in the afternoon on the last day.
And how did you find that racing?
Well, I loved it. I could have done that for the rest of my life out there. That's doing everything you love in it. I like Italian food. It's warm, dry. What's the summer like here? That.
Yeah.
Oh, it was lovely. It was fantastic.
So.
And we was all together. It was in a big hostel.
Okay.
Big tables like this with people sitting. It was like, when you watch the old Sicilian family gangster movies, they're all sitting there and people's reaching over the bread. It was like one big family sitting there. And 17-year-old from Wisbech, and in Italy, people didn't travel from around here, especially. So,
did you feel? How did you race? I mean, how did you think you fared in that? I don't know.
I was racing the seniors a bit like we did in the 50 cat heavily. So I think if I'd have been in the age group, I'd have probably done right in the age group. But I think we was in the top 10. Your dad had a couple of thirds, didn't he?
I don't know any results from that trip, if I'm honest. So,
yeah. I don't really. It was just, I see it as a training session in the sun. It was.
Yeah.
The last day that was on the side of the mountain, and I didn't like that a lot. That was steep. They were sprinting down. I was dragging my foot because it was going too fast, and there's drops down there. It's not barriers or anything like that. The road splits. There's one bloke he went straight on. I watched his elbow coming out the back of his arm.
Oh.
But it's an experience.
I don't even know if they still do it.
Do they?
I genuinely don't know. I haven't heard.
It's probably too dangerous now with health and safety.
Probably, but I don't know.
I mean, even at night time, he's racing around the streets, and there's walls with edge and coatings on, and people are catching. You see loads of people with cuts where they're going around. It's dark, racing back streets in the dark.
Yeah, I never did the Cinque Campanile. It's one of them sort of races there. I wish I'd have. Had a go at it. I used to like going to Heavily, the 50 kilometres.
I only went once, but I loved Heavily.
Yeah, I did it a few times, but yeah, I saw it, but I never did the Cinque Campanile.
I raced Heavily as a senior, I think.
You raced, yeah, well, in that team there was me, you,
your dad,
Tucky, Mulaney, so it'd have been 85, so there was...
I think that's where I put myself up. I went up an age group, because I think they said if you stand a chance of getting into the British squad, I had to.
Yeah, so it must have been, and it was usually in the May, so I'm guessing it was May 85 when we went to Heavily.
Yeah.
So
that was a hot weekend as well, wasn't it?
It was a hot weekend, and we got, and I think Alison was in the team. I can't remember who else was it.
Lisa went, didn't she?
Lisa Burgess.
No,
or
Smith.
Lisa Smith. Could have been Lisa Smith. I really don't remember.
Oh, there's pictures. Debbie Kitchener was there.
Possibly.
There's some pictures on Facebook.
Okay.
I think I've saved them somewhere.
I remember a few bits and bobs about that trip. I remember playing volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, I think Derek Ritchie went as well. But
yeah, he did.
He did, yeah. So there was a big old not B trip. But so you come back. So the Cinque Campanile '86. You come back and you're selected again for Britain in the European Championship, just on Finale Emilia on the road. And you skate every distance on the road except for the 5k. So what do you remember of Finale Emilia?
I was a bit let down. I didn't do as well as what I hoped to do after the previous year. I thought I'd have learned from it, but no, I still enjoyed it. It's good, but just disappointed.
And why do you think that was?
I think getting that 4th or 5th on the track, I thought I was probably better than what I was.
I went Cassano.
And then the year before.
I'm going to just pause for a sec because I'm just going to change the tape. Right, we've just been just sort of changing the table. We're talking about the 1986 Europeans, and you skated every distance except the 5K on the road there. But you even skate the time trial at Finale Amelia. What's that all about?
You have to ask the team manager.
Well, funny though, yeah, because it's Mickey McGough now who's the team manager. But I mean, like I said, I only looked the other day and I thought Newton in the time trial, strange, but okay. But that was on the track. But on the road, you only skate 2 events on the road, whereas I'd have thought road would have been more thing. But the 1500 and the 20k. But Huey skates every distance, including the relay. Was that a disappointment to you?
Yeah.
Was the whole championship a disappointment to you? What do you remember of those championships then?
It was after Pat Theaton and everybody got on, and I just didn't feel like I clicked with them. I didn't really want to be there.
Really? Why is that?
Don't know, like I say, I was disappointed with how I was skating, and I don't know, he didn't seem to bring out the best in the team, in my opinion.
Who's that, Mick?
Yeah.
So there was contrasting styles between Mick and Pat. In what respect?
Well, just organisation from what I can remember, and I don't know, it's just I don't particularly like him.
Okay. And do you know, I mean...
I felt like I was lucky to get in the squad. Let's say I was disqualified on the 10,000 metres where Tucky won the 10,000 metres at Bay, and he came over and gave me a bollocking and he said I was lucky I was in the squad.
Really? So. Right. So that must have been, so you'd have been now 17, but that must have been put a bit of a dampener on things to you. So, but you did the Euros in Finale Amelia, and it was a bit of a damp squib for you. I know you think that your form wasn't particularly good, but did you still think that you should have been in some of the events, say, more than Huey?
Certainly the road. I thought I was better than Huey at the time. But I don't know, you have to ask him why.
Tucky was in the team, wasn't he then? Yeah, and the old man. Yeah.
I think we was on par.
Right.
I just don't think Huey was up to it there, and like I say, he do the sprint on the track and then not get any of the other, especially the distance ones.
Yeah, it did seem odd, the fact that he was, in the time trial. I thought, okay. But you never pushed back on that. You just did as you're told.
You did as you're told, don't you? You're not going to get in next year if you.
And you're 17.
Yeah.
And nobody else fought your corner. There was nobody there to fight your corner. No. Did your mum and dad go and watch you at the Euros?
Yeah, I think they went. No, they didn't go. They did go that year. Yeah. But they won't argue with him because, again, you won't get in the team next year. You upset the boss, you're not going to get in. There's plenty of other people, aren't there?
So you also get selected for the World Championships in Australia, in Adelaide. So barring Fry Senior, all of the 3 skaters, you, Tucky, Doggett, are all whiz beach skaters. Did you all get along?
Yeah. But
Mick was still the team manager for Adelaide, and so everything that had sort of not gone wrong, but you felt disappointed with in the Euros, did that carry across to the Worlds, or
there's no discipline at all over there. They was we was all nightclubbing, and
really
Tucky was, instead of going to training, he was getting he pulled a girl with an MG. I think she worked in the hotel. He was going down the beach. Huey went off shopping and didn't bother going training. It's
bit of a free for all.
Yeah, I was always training. I went. They say you did what you want. But we went to couple of nights, went nightclubbing at 17.
So there was so the lack of discipline, and you put that down to the manager.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so it was quite contrasting management styles. You don't think he'd have had that if Feetham had been in charge?
I think I'd have probably carried on if Pat had been manager that year.
Well, can you remember how you felt at the Worlds? I mean, although barring the nightclubbing and the dancing, I mean, I don't know about your dance exploits, but so how did you think you fared in Adelaide? Because that looked a bit of a goat track to me, the left and rights and all sorts. But
Yeah.
How was that trip?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. In
actual
Australia
racing.
again, yeah, it was really good. The Australians were on form as well there, weren't they? There's somebody to fight back at the Italians and the Americans.
Did you feel like you was now a bit more widely known, because you'd done the Europeans, and like the Italians are on top, and then you'd done like in '85, and then you'd done the Worlds in Colorado, and you'd done the Europeans in finale, and now you're at the Worlds again in Adelaide. Did you feel like that the other teams and the other skaters were starting to recognise you as a staple person?
What's the two French ones? Pascal Poirier and
Gravois.
Yeah, they was out there. Let's say the Italians, they all knew us anyway. Your dad got us in talking to people because everybody wanted to talk to your dad. So I was always with your dad, following him around like a little dog.
Yeah, he has been around a bit.
Yeah, but you say if people knew who you were, they'd come over and chat with you.
So at the start of the 86-87 season, you win a 10k again on the Herne Bay track, which you said was made for you. But
thanks to your dad.
Thanks to my dad. Well, go on, expand on that.
He told me to go with 2 laps to go because I was following, and I did. Did as I was told. He was up in that far corner, weren't you? Start over here, in the back corner. He said, "Go, Nate." And I went.
Was he was racing, or he was on the side?
He was on the side. He was a devil, wasn't it?
It was I think it was a 10k, yeah. And Danny Bowens was second.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when the old man just says, "Go on, Newt."
Yeah, give it a go.
Give it a go. What, he was standing on the side?
He was on the corner, yeah.
Oh, what, had he been eliminated?
Yeah.
Oh.
He stood there and he said, "Go on, Newt." I think he's "Go on, Newt." He's dead, because I think he'd led quite a bit.
Yeah. So he thought, "I'll have a go." And you won. So that's in the October.
Yeah.
So that's the start of the race. But at Herne Bay, you used to always have the first race to start the season with international. How did you approach that season? You'd come back from the Worlds in Adelaide. You just won on Herne Bay, but it seems like this is also going to be a lean season. But was you still as engaged that season?
No, we in Australia. Tony Keefe, a few of them said about staying up. Me and Tookie staying over there with them. I phoned Dad. He said, "Yes, stay over there. He'll fund me." And it weren't a lot of money to stay over there. They was just sleeping on people's sofas and sharing. They'd worked and shared petrol money and trained together. I thought that'd be brilliant. Off season, you'd be over there in the sunshine. And I was told if we didn't get on that plane, we'd never skate again.
Who told you that?
Gwen and Pat and Mick.
Oh, really? So you wanted to stay over there and do some training with the Aussies, but your hand was forced. Was that?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I don't mean I wasn't bothered about domestic stuff, but
you thought that would be an experience and an
if
opportunity for you.
The only chance you're going to win at world level is to train how they do. We didn't have the experience, your dad and other people, to train us. We just learnt on our own.
Why do you think they took that stance? Had the federation paid for the flights, or?
Yeah, but Dad would have paid for the flight home, so they weren't going to be out of pocket. We weren't expecting the federation to pay anything out there. It's just we didn't have permits and all the red tape that they need.
Yeah, of course, it was all permits, wasn't it? Everything else.
Yeah, we just started getting political. Like say, I got disqualified for coming second for helping Tookie. They said I didn't move over, but I was in the middle of the track. He could have come by at any time, other than standing up and letting them go by. That was the only thing you could do. I was disqualified for that. You go over there. I weren't happy with how the team manager was in any of them. You got an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity for something like me to stay in Australia, train with the best in the world, see how they do it. Now you got to come home. It's red tape. After going to America and seeing how their athletes are treated, back here you get nothing. I just thought the only way you can race and win with them is to do what they do. It wasn't here. And I couldn't afford to fund that sort of lifestyle to win. I wanted to win.
So you come back from Adelaide and you race for a bit in 1987.
Two races, did I? 2
races, so I think 2 or 3. You finished third to Tony Marriott and Fry Senior in the Beadle Trophy in a race. and that was your last medal that year. And then in actual fact, it was your last ever medal. I think. Well, it weren't your last ever medal, but we'll come to that. But then 2 races later, you enter a race for the last time, 17th of May, and then that's it. So 17th of May, you said, I'm done. I mean, you make a cameo appearance in '89, which we can touch on, but on 17th of May, you didn't qualify past your heat. What had been going through your mind at that time?
It's just hard doing what I was doing. Let's say there's no help here, and it's an amateur sport, but I wasn't bothered about domestic stuff. Let's say it's European Championships or competing in there. I don't know if I was good enough. I think I could have won at least a medal at Europeans and perhaps at Worlds. But to get to that next level, it's a big push. Unless you've got your family and the work to do it, you can't compete against people like that.
So was it like, had it been brewing, or had you been building up to stopping? In other words, when I say building up, I mean, had you started to just not take an interest and not continue training? Or did you just one day go, I'm done here?
It weren't going well in a race. I think I got boxed in or something silly, and Mum shouted at me. And the next time she shouted at me, and really shouted at me, nothing normal, I just took exception to it and stood up and said, I'm not skating anymore.
And that was the last race you did?
Yeah.
So that was the 17th of May, 87. So, and you said, I'm done. And you decided not to go again. You did make a cameo appearance for a Category 3 race in 1989 on Queen's, I think it is, at the school. How did that come about?
Don't know, I just thought I'd give it another go. I trained and had a winter, kept my tuck in, was training hard.
Okay.
And then there was the orange fasters.
Yeah.
The cord blew off of them.
Yeah, the 91.
I thought somebody's tried to tell me something there, and I packed up again.
So you only did the one race?
Yeah.
You was third, I think, or you might have been second. You was...
I think it was second.
You might be second. Yeah, you might be second actually. Adrian Wordsworth won it.
They went on the last lap or the second from last lap.
Yeah. It was a Cat 3 race, and
I had a winter and a good summer, and what I knew the race was there. I thought, well, I'll never go to the race. I haven't got to travel anywhere. Nothing to lose, have you?
But then that was it. But then you're done. Did you do the race and think, do you know what? This is just too much.
Yeah.
I ain't bothered with this.
Yeah.
So again, just going back to this whole, was it a culmination of things that stopped you skating, or that you took a conscious decision to stop skating, like your mum shouting at you, Mick, and the team manager?
It was more in Australia when we could have stayed out there. Whether it was disappointment, I took exception to that, but I'd just thought if they wanted us to do well and we've got the opportunity, why on earth wouldn't they just say, right, if your dad's going to fund it, stay out there, we'll sort the paperwork out, your mum and dad sort the paperwork with the NSA, even if they said don't race until you got the okay from us. But if you don't get on the plane, you'll never skate in the country again. That's not how you encourage people, is it?
It sounds difficult for a 17-year-old to swallow. Okay. Do you have any regrets about stopping at such a young age?
Yeah, of course I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
I bet you're still thinking, get back on a name and do it a bit, can you?
Funny enough, I've got some skates coming from Eddie Lake.
Have you really?
Yeah. My old size, he'd fancy that. I swapped them for 2 Paul Smith special edition shirts.
Did you?
Yep.
How did Tucky take it that you stopped skating? Because I mean, you and him were like joined at the hip, really. Yeah. But did you say to him, "I'm done here, Mark"?
I said on the day it was at Taken Park.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no. He said, "Well, you'll be back. You'll be there Monday."
Yeah.
Training. I didn't.
How did he take it? As he spoke to you about over the years? As he
just called me twat.
Did he?
You know what he's like, doesn't he?
And he still sticks by that.
Yeah.
So
I get called it there for no reason.
So you see, in '89 when you stepped onto the track again, and you're right, you were second to Wordsworth. You were only 20 then. You were only just 20 in actual fact. But and then you did think you walked away for good. So what did you do yourself after you stopped?
Partied.
Did you?
I went to the gym. I used to go to the gym.
Did you do any other sport?
No, I did a bit of bodybuilding, not competitive wise, just got big. More for girls, like you do, don't you?
Well, I don't know.
But yeah, no, I used to go to the gym still went till I was about 33, 34.
Okay, so you kept fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been fat for a few years.
But you never had the urge to go back skating?
Nah. I've often thought I'd like to do something and compete, but I'm too old now to compete.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody's ever too old, but
no, but at that level, it's
there's always I know. I mean, I never. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I never did masters, for example, or veterans.
It's not a proper race, is it?
I don't know why I did. I couldn't find it in me to do it, but then that's not. I don't know. It's horses for courses, you know. But yeah, I think sometimes.
I think nowadays it is a bit more important, and it's not.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a good point. I think when I stopped skating, is that it wasn't so much as
the top ones weren't going into that.
Yeah, that's right. You were racing people who'd never really quite made it at a senior level, who could do something at veterans.
Yeah.
So it didn't really feel right. But I think you actually
there
are
weren't
right.
No fit round Harleys going into veterans.
Yeah, these that. No, that's right.
Ashleys.
That's exactly right. Yeah, there wasn't.
So there's no relevance there at that point.
Yeah, you just
that's
pop
fair, not relevance, but yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think like these days is that, like, you know, like you said, more of the ex-elite skaters tend to do the masters and veterans. Therefore, it probably means a bit more.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't see myself ever still wanting to step on the track. I haven't got the inclination to. But
it hurts when you fall over.
It does hurt when you fall over. I wouldn't know. I'm scared for a while. But you never felt the urge to compete. But didn't you ever get the urge to just go and watch a few races? Didn't you think, I miss this, I want to go and have a look at it, I want to go to Tatum Park and just go and sit and meet some old friends? And
I missed all you lot. That's just the crack, and especially the team when you just playing volleyball for no reason. And you're just bored waiting to bus come and pick you up, don't you? That was all good.
But you didn't miss it enough.
Oh, well, I was self-employed when I was in 1991, so I was 21, 22.
Okay, so pretty much just after you quit.
I used to work 6 days a week, do 10-hour days. And ever since I've been with DC, I've always done 6 days a week. We built houses, we've renovated the house, did barn conversions, just kept myself busy doing other stuff.
So, what about the family? Does your son want to get on skates?
Oh, he's useless. I took him up there once, and he had skates on. He thought it's funny. He'd go around on his hands and knees, and he's only 5. Play with wheels. He weren't interested in skating.
So he's got no interest. But does he know about your background and your exploits and your whatever?
Yeah, I've told him.
Yeah,
okay.
He's like, whatever, shrug the shoulders.
Yeah,
not interested.
No.
So he's got no interest whatsoever in getting there. But, so, what about you? Have you saying you got some skates coming? So what are you going to do when you get these skates then?
I'll just leave them on the shelf and look.
Do you ever go up to the rink? Up to Macca's rink?
Not since I took Alfie. Must be 10 years ago.
Really?
I dislocated a vertebra in my back. Just before I packed up fitting carpets, about 2000.
Yeah.
So to go at that angle, it hurts. I'd do a couple of laps, but I couldn't do anything.
So when was the last time you had skates on?
That'd be when I took. No, I got some inline skates, speed skates off eBay, and I went round my living room about 3 years ago in them.
You got some inlines, did you?
Yeah, I'll give them to Lucy's nephew. He lives in Brighton.
So where are your quad skates?
Bush Beach Skip.
You binned them?
Yeah, I didn't know what they was worth.
I can tell you now the bones are worth a fortune of the plates. So how soon after you stopped did you decide to throw them in the...
About 2000 when we moved out of the first house I bought with Lucy.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm never going to use them again. I've moved them. I mean, I think up to now I've moved about 29 times.
Have you got anything left of your skating days?
I've got my trophies out there. Some medals. Mum's got the gold ones somewhere from the British Championships. Some wheels.
And that's it.
Green Labidas went in the skip. The pink bones, Cobley's pink bones. Do you remember them?
Yeah, I do.
He used them everywhere.
Yeah. Well, again, all these wheels worth a fortune these days on eBay, mate.
Are they?
Yeah. Your plates probably fetch 500 quid somewhere in Australia.
I see somebody they was offering £1,000 for
bones. Bone races. Yeah.
I had some Galaxies as well, plates.
Well, Macca's told me today that he's got about half a dozen pair of Bowens that people just donated. He was going to put them in the tip as well, down the skip. I said, don't want to do that, mate.
I'll buy them off him.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but I'll buy
You need to go and tap him
I'll
up.
go and see him, yeah.
Go and see him. Well, Andy, Newt, it's been more than 35 years since me and you last stood on a track together, let alone probably seen each other, and yet like, I know you're saying things like, you know, you can't remember this and can't remember that, and I'm a bit the same in them days, but I certainly remember my days racing you and some of the fun and the laughs.
Oh, it was always fun, wasn't it?
It was always fun, and like you said, even like to remember just playing the volleyball in at Heavily in, what's that, 1985, so what's that, 40 years ago? 40 years ago. But look, you know, I don't want to say, look, British champion, British team member, would be European gold medalist if it weren't for a corrupt Italian judge, you know, and a British skating legend. Andy, thanks a lot for doing this interview. It's really appreciated.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, mate. Great time.